Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Take a moment, please. Greet someone beside you or behind you, somebody in the square next to you. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom. And we'll begin by offering this blessing, which you will not find in your prayer book, offered to us by Alden Solovoy, one of my very favorite poets, who writes, God of rest, thank you for the week that has passed. Thank you for this Shabbat. Bless those around us with your love and your light. Let it shine on us as well. Help us to live a life of kindness and service, guided by Torah and mitzvot. Let us see others through your eyes with compassion and understanding. Let us see ourselves through your eyes with forgiveness and grace. May your goodness rain down upon us from this Shabbat until the next, and upon those we love and all the days of our lives. As we join together in saying, Amen. 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 We'll begin this evening with candle lighting, which can be found on page 120 and 121, for which it is an honor and a pleasure to invite Susan and Scott Newberg up to join us on the eve of Leah becoming a bat mitzvah, and you can join us on pages 120, 121.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. Let's join together in singing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We'll continue on page 123 as we turn to words of Kiddush. We'll invite you, please, in body or in spirit, to rise as Leah leads us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho, be'ahava u'ratzon, hilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tefillah, lemikraye kodesh, zeher letziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'harta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikohanim, v'shabbat kadsheha, be'ahava u'ratzon, hinhaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen.
Okay.
And kindly be seated. As we are welcoming one another, it is a nice treat for us this evening to have a lot of clergy in the room. So we are delighted to welcome Rabbi Jerry Newberg to our sanctuary and to this space. And tomorrow also Eric Goldberg, Rabbi Eric Goldberg, your uncle. It's nice to have a double shot of rabbis in the house, right? And another double shot in the back, we have Rabbi Katz and Rabbi Katz with us this evening as well. So I think we got things covered. It feels like we're good, we're good. Join us, please, as we continue on page 127, and we'll continue praying responsively. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Page 140, as we continue with the singing of Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la la, ya la la ya la ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la. Let's try together. Mizmor shir yom hashabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai. Mizmor shir yom hashabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני.
We'll turn now to the words of Shalom Aleichem, a 17th century Shabbat song, a mystical song, a beautiful song in which we've talked about this before for those who have been here before in this space and perhaps in other spaces, this notion of what it would be like to have two ministering angels accompanying us home from synagogue or home from whichever room you find yourself in now, and then where you continue on to this holy space as we move into Shabbat, what it would be like to have that presence, that lightness, that holiness, that depth, that beauty, that grandeur accompanying us home each week. Page 142, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharem,
Pages 144 and 145. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways.
יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה, ואמרי ברכירותי וימליך מלכותי, בהייכנו ויומכון וחיי דרכו בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו, יהי שמך מבורך לעולם עולם מעמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקדושה. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ויאמרו.
Page 146, as we turn to our call to worship the Baruch Hu, and we'll invite you please in body or in spirit to rise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'divaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitruna mishane itim, machalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim b'mishmarotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, Umavdil ben yom uvein laila Adonai tzevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night, we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuta Le'olam.
And please be seated.
And please join me for Ve'ahavta בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל ידיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אלוהים מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, וחיו לכתובות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue now on page 162 with the singing of V'shamru. We'll continue on page 164 as we turn to the words of the tefillah, and we'll invite you please to rise.
Adonai sifatai tifta ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vekonei Ha'ol, Vezocher Hasei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Lifnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Vezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mehaye HaKol atah, Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mehalkel Hayim Behesed, Mehaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somek Noflim Berofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Mihamochabal Gevurot, Umidam Melach, Melech Mimit, Umehayeh, Umatzmi Yeshua, V'ne'eman ha'hayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai mehayeh hakol.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. And please be seated. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Let's continue praying together on page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulachana el hodot.
B'tov
We'll pause now for a few moments of intentional silence, meditation, reflection, or prayer. A lovely and much-needed bridge for us to our prayers for healing and wholeness and strength and courage and community for those who, for weakness of body or weakness of spirit, are so very much in need. Page 371, as we continue our prayers for healing. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech et holim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and strengthen those who are struggling. This Shabbat we are holding in our prayers Shana Esther Bat Rochel, Laura Braun, Rini Feingold, Irving Manis, Gabriel Berger, Michael Shartok, Valerie Brownstein, Liz Steinberg, Stephen Brieger, Carol Brieger, Linda Champion, David Rosenzweig, Yosef Ben Miriam, Raymond Condonjen, Palma Lynn Scharfman, Yoel David Ben Mordechai, Mary Israel Baruch, Yosef Ben Aryeh Levi Hudit, Rachel Gordon, Marty Jacobson, Kim Stanger Delisle, Susan Margolis, Tom Vanek, Alan Skirker, Denny Linsner, Marlene Etlinger, Lou Jones, John Behrman, Nina Chazanoff, Mike Jacobs, and Michael Goldberg. If there are other names that you would add to this list or names that are better spoken aloud by you, please would you add that name or those names when I look your way? And from home? Hold all of those in our prayers, together with those who perhaps are in our hearts or whose names we do not know, and who are most assuredly in need of blessing. As we say, may the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion, for wherever possible, health to be restored and strength revived. May God send renewal of body and renewal of spirit as we join together in saying,
Amen.
Amen.
And please join me.
If I say, all you need is love, you would say what? Okay, or you would sing, thank you. Or you might say love, 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 right? But I feel like you could do a better job than that. If I say, all you need is love, you would say,
Love, love, love.
thank you. Yeah, it's like, okay, we do a little work on that one. The Beatles played this for the very first time on the Our World project, the first ever worldwide TV special broadcast in 24 countries on June 25th, 1967. The show was 6 hours long and featured music from 6 continents, where the Beatles represented Britain. The concept of the song was born out of a request to bring a song that was going to be understood by people of all nations. So the writing began in late May of 1967 with John and Paul working on separate songs. And then it was ultimately decided that John's All You Need Is Love was the better choice because it was easy to understand. The message of love and peace and the repetitive nature of it was quite familiar. The song was easy to play, the words easy to remember, and it encompassed the feeling of the world's youth during that period. This week, we read from Parshat Kedoshim, containing 2 of the most powerful of all of the commands: to love your neighbor and to love the stranger. We read, love your neighbor as yourself. I am the eternal is the first, And when a stranger comes to live in your land, do not mistreat him, reads the second, and continues. Treat the stranger the way you treat your native born. Love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the eternal, your God. This comes to us from Leviticus 19. Rabbi Jonathan Sacks of blessed memory said, the first is often called the Golden Rule and held to be universal in all cultures. This, he says, is a mistake. The Golden Rule is different. In its positive formulation, it states, act towards others as you would wish to have them act towards you. Or in its negative formulation given by Hillel, what is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. These rules are not, in fact, about love. They are more about justice, or more precisely, what evolutionary psychologists call reciprocal altruism. The Torah does not say be nice or kind to your neighbor because you would wish him to be nice or kind to you. It says love your neighbor. And that is something different and far stronger. And the second command is even more radical still. Most people in most societies, in most ages, have feared, hated, and often harmed the stranger. There is a word for this, xenophobia. Rabbi Sacks asks, how often have you heard or do you know the opposite word? Anybody familiar with it? Very nice. Xenophilia. My guess is, with rare exception, most are not familiar with that term. People don't usually love strangers. In fact, one of the very first things that parents teach their young children is about stranger danger, right? How many of us parented like that? For there has always been, and increasingly, not only a fear of strangers, but skepticism, and in some cases, straight up disdain of strangers. That is why almost always when the Torah states this command, which it does according to the sages 36 times, it adds an explanation, because you were strangers in Egypt. Rabbi Sacks goes on to say, I know of no other nation that was born as a nation in slavery. We know what it feels like to be a vulnerable minority. We know what it is like to be the outsider, the foreigner, to be regarded with customs that are unfamiliar and even concerning looking to some. We know what it is like to look different, to eat differently, to pray differently, and to have a community that in places really functions quite differently. And that is why love of the stranger is so central in Judaism and so marginal to most other systems of ethics. But here too, the Torah does not use the word justice. There is a command of justice towards strangers, but that is an altogether different law. You shall not wrong a stranger or oppress him, we read in Exodus. Here the Torah speaks not of justice, but of love. These two commands define Judaism as a religion of love, not just of God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might, but of humanity also. This was and is a world-changing idea. How do we love humanity? Throughout the book of Leviticus, we read about a combination of moral, political, economic, and environmental laws as an indication and a structure, in fact, for that love. Sacks says that it is a supreme statement of a universe of order of which we are the custodians. It is for us all about how we choose to humanize that order through love. The love of neighbor and the love of strangers, that is what matters. The verb love in verse 19, chapter 19, 18, is followed by the preposition using the letter lamed. For those of you who are familiar with the Hebrew, this indicates, what does a lamed indicate? Who knows? Yeah. Say it again. An L, right? It's got a L sound. Is that what you said? Yeah, it's got a L sound, right, Miriam? Who knows what that preposition is in the Hebrew? Very nice. It means to, right? It means to, and this indicates to us that it is to something or to someone. We love through being responsible, thank you, to one another. We find this form only four times in the entire Bible, and in all four cases, there is an implication of action rather than just a feeling. Loving, I think if I were to ask you, we would describe that as a feeling, as an emotion. But the Torah makes clear that it is an action. Honoring our parents is how we can love. The Israelites are commanded to leave the corners of their fields unharvested and to leave any fallen fruit for those who have need and for the stranger. This is how we can love. The commandment not to steal and not to defraud immediately leads to the commandment to pay workers on time, to not have them wait. This is how we can love. We are commanded not to curse the deaf or put a stumbling block before the blind, literally and metaphorically. This is how we can love. A difficult one, but an important one. It is forbidden to hold a grudge or exact vengeance against people. This too is how we can love. Respecting the elderly is how we can love. How we humans deal with each other is an indication of our love. Striving to live up to our name as a holy people is one of our most precious and most challenging teachings. Love is a form of action, the expression of which is manifest in how we love our neighbor, how we love our siblings, how we treat the stranger, and it is a lifetime of work, some of the best and the holiest work we will ever do. In the decades following the record's release, Beatles biographers and music journalists criticized the lyrics of All You Need Is Love as naive and simplistic. All you need is love. Love is all you need. And then when you look at the lyrics or when you sing them in your head, you see love, 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 love. But there is nothing simple whatsoever about love. Where the Beatles' message might not have been explicit enough for our biblical thinkers, the need for the reminder, clear and repetitive as they would sing it, was indeed shared and articulated, perhaps not as melodically, but every bit as urgent in our text from Leviticus, more that we will hear tomorrow. And John Lennon said, we've got this gift of love, but love is like a precious plant. You can't just accept it and leave it in the cupboard or just think it's going to get on by itself. You've got to keep watering it. You've got to really look after it and nurture it. And later, commenting on this same song, maybe even challenging us to follow suit, he said, I'm a revolutionary artist, and my art is dedicated to change. Who would have ever thought that the Beatles and the book of Leviticus might be our best teachers? Both implore us to love. Both remind us that it is more than a feeling. Another good song, by the way. Both remind us that it is more than a feeling and that loving takes work and that love and justice go hand in hand. Our sacred teachings this week encourage us to be thoughtful, careful, and intentional as we continue to develop our skills as revolutionary artists, God's most willing students dedicated to change and dedicated to holiness. We'll continue now as we know that these responsibilities are upon us. As we turn to the words Aleinu, they are for us our yoke of responsibility. As we turn to page 586 and in body or in spirit, we rise. We pause to think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. During this period of Shloshim, we are mourning the recent loss of Bernice Fromm, mother of Robin, Maxine, and Stephen, and father of Joel Shemaskin, Robert Shemaskin, grandfather to Deborah Trimble, Andrea Garraway, and Sarah Shemaskin. We are also mourning during this period of Shloshim Harold Ginsburg, grandfather of Harrison Schutzer, Joseph Phillips, father of Barbara Davis, grandfather of Jeffrey, great-grandfather of Alex, Tyler, Dylan, and Zachary Davis. We are mourning the loss of Lucy, Rena, and Maya D., of Joshua Barrick, Deanna Eckert, Thomas Elliott, Juliana Farmer, and James Tutt. And this marks a yahrzeit and anniversary of passing for Josephine Abelman, Abraham D. Abrams, Ann Astorita, Horace Becker, Stephanie Buran, Miriam Corris, Stephen Ellman, Sally Feldman, Barbara Fleischer, Harriet Fletcher, Felix Nathan Friedman, Harvey Gage, Ruth Gold, Arlene Goldman, Sarah Golub, Arlene Grossman, Marcia Gerwitz, Elaine Hacker, Max Kahn, Peter Liebschutz, Thelma Marcus, Constance Mayer, Sophie Muffs, Murray Rice, Sharon Rosa, Harry Q. Rosenfeld, Lotta Reuser, Morton Sarakin, Beverly Sadwith Schifrin, Elsie Schrager, Helen Smetana, Ossie Sussman, Michael Weiner, Nathan Weinstein. If there are other names that you would add to either list or names that are better spoken aloud by you, please share those names with us as I look your way. And from home? We say Zichronam Livracha, may each of their memories be for a blessing as we join together on page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yid Gadal Vid Gadash Shmei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Yerutei V'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayechon U'v'yamechon U'v'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala U'v'zman Kariv B'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam U'maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudasha b'riku le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all who mourn, to all Israel, as we join together in saying, amen. And kindly be seated. Before we conclude, we share some announcements this evening. We want to offer early best wishes. Did I call you Leah? Leah, right? I called you Leah. It's written down as Layla. I didn't call you Layla, did I? Okay. Just thought, did I just call you that the whole service? Okay, good, thank you. We wish you early best wishes, your proper name, for tomorrow, and the entire extended Newburgh family. And we're delighted to have so many of you joining us from out of town as well. Torah study at 9:15 tomorrow morning, followed by services at 10:30. We have school on Sunday morning at 9:30. And for those who are going to be joining us for the funeral for Bernice, that will be at 2 o'clock here in the sanctuary. On Tuesday, May 2nd, we have adult education Yiddish for everyone with Esther Brill beginning at 7 p.m. And then next Friday night, please join us if ever you have volunteered, if you have volunteering spirit in you, so that we can thank you appropriately for all the work that you do. Join us, please, next Friday night for our 6 p.m. service, where we will honor all of our volunteers together with our fourth graders who are participating. And then we'll have Shabbat dinner with friends, where we hope you'll join us as well and continue the celebration. And then next Saturday morning, we've got Torah study again at 9:15, and the Benot Mitzvah of Abigail and Rebecca Zebrak at 10:30. We want to thank Elise Wojciechowski for being our board greeter and for joining us and lifting our service musically as well this evening. I like to say, any very difficult questions, please ask Elise at the end of services when you join us in the social hall behind us for our own egg as well. And then also please mark May 7th, when the Greater Rochester Jewish community is invited to a dedication of a Holocaust monument at Mount Hope Cemetery at 1 p.m. That's Sunday, May 7th as well. And I'll be leading a two-part adult education class, May 27th, oh, these dates are wrong. It's on the website. There will be an adult education class that will give us the opportunity to know more about the prayer book, our beautiful prayer book, know more about our prayer choreography as well, and to look at the beautiful poetry and prose and stellar writings on the left side of our Siddur as well. Any other announcements that I have missed? Lisa, please.
I'm a member of the Temple Sinai Hikers, or the Hikers. We have a hike planned on Sunday morning at 9:45 at Daffodil Meadow Trail in Sour Mill Park. It's a great way to meet some fellow Temple Sinai members. And this is an easy trail. It's less than a mile. It's pretty flat. It may be a little bit rainy. As long as there's no thunder, I think we'll hike. So please join us 9:45 a.m. at Sour Mill Park.
Thank you. Come and hike. Any other announcements, any other celebrations, any other joys, any other oys? Rabbi Katz.
So I want to wish a mazel tov to Rabbi Till, who will be receiving her doctorate on this Thursday at New York, at Temple Emmanuel. She will be a doctor of divinity, and the initials stand for other things also.
We did do. Thank you. Okay, well, come, let us continue with Motzi. We will invite the Newburgh family to join us. For Motzi, let's give thanks for all that nourishes and sustains us.
Motzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to words in song together, as our prayer is joyfully said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
B'Te'avon, page 625 is where you'll find our closing song, Adon Olam. Closing benediction, I'll invite you please to rise. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God grant strength to our people. May God bless our people with peace.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.